Now, in the second part of a two-part series, our Kim Dami takes a look at the difficulties from facing the smartphone industry amid this outbreak.
The COVID-19 crisis is hammering all industries across the globe, and the smartphone industry is no exception. Worldwide shipments of smartphones dropped 38% on-year in February, the largest drop in history. It's not due to consumers' lack of income, rather they're afraid or unable to go outside to make purchases during this pandemic. On top of the demand shock, there have also been production and supply issues because factories around the globe are closing to limit COVID-19 infections. South Korean tech giant Samsung Electronics is putting production on hold until April 14th at its Noida factory in India, the world's biggest mobile phone manufacturing facility. These production issues are also affecting global firms like Apple, whose supply chains are dependent on Asian companies. For example, Samsung produced over 80% of the world's OLED smartphone displays in the April to June period last year.
They will have to do the hedging, lining up the alternative suppliers and alternative quick methods in terms of changing sources of supply and so on.
Selling more phones online can be one way to reach customers, but in some countries, the way phones are sold makes this very difficult. Disruptions in the smartphone supply chain could also mean the release of new models could be delayed by months. In fact, Apple reportedly plans to push back the launch of its first 5G iPhone, possibly until next year. Analysts say that it's not just about when the pandemic ends, but also how long the recovery takes.
Because all the countries started at a different place, countries differ in how they track the disease. Korea has done a very good job of tracking, the United States has not. So all the countries are going to have different impacts and different lengths.
And even if we could have the supply chains magically pop back to full and seamless operation, we need an appropriate policy response on the demand side to keep our economies healthy and to handle as best we can the effects of this crisis.
There is a hint of hope that smartphone sales this month won't be as bad as February. But the complexity of the global smartphone supply chain suggests the road back to normal will be bumpy and unpredictable. Kim Dami, Arirang News.